Welcome to January's episode of Building Whitetails, guys. This one's very special to me. As I've said in years past in the January and February episodes, this one's about trapping. Trapping is a key point in land management. And we're going to be setting a number of different traps. We're going to be putting trail cameras on these traps to help teach us how these animals interact with the sets. Hopefully throw some of that in with this episode as well to let you guys watch how this all plays out. So let's get started. I've said it before, you'll hear me say it again, I will continue to say it. Help the deer do what deer want to do. Box trap, guys, this is about as simple and beginner entry level that you can get. Lots of hardware stores carry box traps. I recommend spend the extra money and get a little heavier built one. I got this one. This is a Freedom brand trap. Not sponsored by them, but they make great products. They're made here in the United States. You can use a broad range of baits. When I'm using this, I'm targeting raccoons. I've got standing corn over here just behind this CRP, and they're in and out of here just cleaning this thing out like crazy. If you've got deer feeders, if you've got game bird populations, coons are always a problem. Right here I've got sweet feed from my wife's horses. You can use chocolate bars. I'll throw a piece of chocolate in there. You can use vanilla extract. You can use maple syrup, Jello. I mean, literally anything that's like sweet, fruity, grain. Even grain's a big hit, especially because they're hitting it right now. So, these are super simple. It's just a flip up door. Simple standing pad that they step on their way to get the bait. One key tip that this has really helped me a lot, this is a magnetic parts tray. Get these on Amazon. You can get them at your local hardware stores. It's just a little metal tray with a magnet on the bottom. You put your bait in there, you set it in the back, and the animals can't reach in and move that thing around. They can't really get into it. It keeps your bait up off the ground, so stuff isn't digging under your trap to get to it. This has been a game changer. It really helps hold your bait up in the air, keeps it dry, keeps if you get some water on the ground from getting into your bait. So these have been really, really helpful. Just set it down in the back, set your door, set it in a location that is, where you're getting a lot of activity, whether it's on trail cameras or areas that that raccoons are using frequently on your property. All right, so location. You're gonna hear me say the word location throughout this whole thing. Guys, coons like water and coons like corn. I've got corn right there and I got water right there. It's so, this is on the path of one of my hunting blinds, and I've noticed this trail all fall. The raccoons are coming from the creek up this one trail, path of least resistance, just cutting straight across the drive and going into the cornfield. So it's very similar to deer activity. A lot of animals work the same in the sense that path of least resistance going from point A to point B. So we're going to go ahead and hang a snare on this right here, on this bottom rung of this pipe fence. We're going to fluff this up to direct them through the snare, and I know we're going to catch coons here because I've caught them before in the past. So here, let's get started. All right, so I've got my two basic snare parts here. I've got the snare, and I've got a snare extension. Guys, everything I've referenced on this whole trapping episode can be bought from just a Google trapping supply store, online, or maybe your hardware store carries some supplies. Invest in quality. It really, really makes a difference in the outcome and your results on your trap line. Like I said, I buy all my stuff from F&T Trading Post. I'm not sponsored by them. They're great guys. I've known them for a long time in regards to ordering stuff from their company. They do an awesome job. Can't say enough good about them. But so this is my snare extension. I'm going to connect this over here because I'm going to put a trail camera just a little bit further down. I don't want the animal to be able to reach that camera and rip it off. So just like so, I'm going to unwind my snare. Just like yay. And there's animal specific snares. This one's geared towards bobcats and raccoons, mainly targeting raccoons here. Every once in a while bobcats, we use raccoon travel routes as well. Don't ask me why, I'm not entirely sure. Guys, I don't consider myself a master snaresman yet. I am trying to get there, but it's been quite a learning curve. Had some good success last year, snared a bunch of coyotes, snared my first bobcat. So, to get back to the point, I'm going to make this loop approximately, I got a big hand, a little bit bigger than, so I'm going for about 6 to 7 inches, maybe 8. And I'm going to use a black zip tie. Black blends in better. And I'm going to zip tie this to this right here. And get it pretty close to snug. Go ahead and open this back up. And I'm going to tighten this down. Okay, zip tie. So zip tie is only, it's just holding this is what it's doing. Zip ties work really good. So that snare is set. It's ready to go. So I'm just gonna set this extension over here. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to fluff this up. Just like with deer, you can manipulate travel of animals very easily. I'm gonna stick that stick in the ground. These are sticks I actually used last year. Stick that in the ground to just kind of guide them through. I'm just gonna fluff this up real good, like so. So now we've got a really good opening, very obvious opening, and this type of a set produces animals all the time. I am going to, I got pliers somewhere. I'm gonna go ahead and snip this little bit of a zip tie, the tail of the zip tie off. But guys, this is set, this is ready to go. It's not complicated. It's a pretty simple set. It's lightweight. You don't need a lot of tools. You can cover a lot of ground with snares in a small amount of time. Very weatherproof. We get snow. This thing doesn't freeze. We get rain. It doesn't pool up with water. And man, I mean, there's people out there that know so much more than me. There's tons of great resources online and books and DVDs that cover snaring specifically. So this has been a money set for me. You know, I said last year we're going to touch on snaring. This is it. So this is just a pretty basic dirt hole set, guys. If you want to see a really in-depth, good version of dirt hole set, jump back to last year's episode of Building Whitetails in regards to trapping. I mean, we do dang near whole episode on just how to do a dirt hole from start to finish. That and a dog-proof set, a dog-proof trap. This year, like I said, we're going over snares and box traps. I'm throwing this dirt hole in right here. It's on location. I'll show you guys location and the importance of it after this, and then we're going to throw another camera on this ground pretty hard. So guys, some questions I've gotten in the past are, how do I trap my farm without disturbing my deer? Because, you know, it's deer season's over here. It's January, but I don't want to blow the deer off my place. I want them to drop their antlers here. I want them to feel safe. We do all this habitat work, you know, primarily for deer, you know, and if you're a bird guy, you do it for birds. Sure, that trap is tight in there. You know, so I don't trap right around my sanctuary, of my deer sanctuary. My sanctuary is back over this direction. I'm on the very, I'm as least intrusive as I can possibly be. Guys, predators, they'll circle the outside perimeter of a safe haven, whether they're hunting bobcat or whether they're hunting mice or rabbits or birds or, you know, deer even. So you're going to use their nose primarily. Bobcats are also very visual, so you know, I'm at a driveway intersection. This is a great trail camera location, one for deer activity. It's a big funnel, guys. These camera locations also make good stand locations. Good stand locations make good trapping locations. Animals, for the most part, work the same. You know, the deer are going to go path of least resistance, point A to point B. Predators are going to just do whatever the prey is going to do. So they're following the prey patterns. You know, it's not, I don't want to say that it's not rocket science, because it just comes with a good grasp and observation of how everything uses your property. Just gonna throw some wax sand on. Helps waterproof that set. Using a sifter, but I have too much dirt there. Just gonna pack the jaws around this trap. You want a tight trap, like I said. Out back to previous Building Whitetails episodes to get a real good handle on dirt hole sets. Very effective set on cats, bobcats that is, coyotes, raccoons. You catch possums, you catch skunks, you catch about everything but your water animals, your beavers and stuff with this set. That's a good set right there. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm just manipulating the animal's movement here. I want them to travel like this around the set. I don't want them to stand here. I don't want them to stand here. I want them to stand here on top of the trap. So I'm just using some dirt clods, some grass, things around to not make it look too crazy, like I'm doing anything wild, but you know, if you step on a rock with your foot, you're gonna move it, or you're gonna move your foot. So I'm trying to do the same thing here with this set. Guys, trail cameras have been a game changer for me in regards to learning how these animals work. Coyotes are finicky animals, they're very finicky. You just throw some cameras out. They'll teach you a lot about, you know, what these animals are okay with, whether it's regard to set presentation, whether it's different lures, different, you know, if you did something wrong with setting your trap, they may dig it up. They caught something that you did wrong. They're just super helpful. Plus, it's really, really cool to watch the catch on film. That's just really awesome, particularly bobcats, because they're not hard to catch, but there's not as many of them as coyotes and raccoons, and they don't come through near as often. So there you go. That's a blended set right there. I mean, I want it to look the same as the rest of this ground here. It's a bit of a soft spot. Trim it up. And we're gonna bait this up and we're done with this set. Okay, so shove my sheep's wool and bait down in that hole. Send that out there for a little added aroma. Guys, let's run over here. I'm gonna show you, Aaron, don't step on that. I'm gonna show you why I picked this spot. So I've got my bedding area off to the west. I've got my food off to the east. I'm talking about regards to whitetails. Deer are traveling this a ton. I got cameras getting a ton of deer right now, particularly being late season and cold, which means, like I said earlier, I'm getting predators. I've got a driveway that encircles this plot right here, and then I've got this geographical, I don't know how to put it, just transitional area of the way the ground lays it. It pinches everything in tight here on my left. So naturally, animals of all kinds are going to be walking through this high travel area. Spots like this are great ways to trap your property without, you know, diving into your deer bedding areas or going and bombing your food plots. I got pictures of several different bucks here last night. The trapping really doesn't bother them that much. The baits and lures. Now you catch a coyote and he's bouncing around here, yes, it's going to bother them. But in my experience, as long as you give them their space in their designated sanctuary and safe spot, you can do a lot of good in regards to predator management on your property. So guys, with that said, that's this episode of Building Whitetails. You know, it's a new angle of trapping built off of last year's. Next month, we're going to dive into just another way to manage your farms to next level land management. Be sure to like and subscribe. Check out the previous trapping episodes from past years of Building Whitetails, particularly 2021's. Those were a lot of fun and really a lot of information packed into those. So I appreciate you guys, and we'll see you later. All right, guys, so we just filmed that episode last night, yesterday afternoon. trap check this morning. Gorgeous, gorgeous tom bobcat. Freaking money.